Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive on the digital art revolution.
So I think we all kind of know that digital art is changing how we think about creativity.
hmm
But I really want to dig deep and find out how exactly we got here and what it all means.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about how digital art isn't just, like making digital paintings.
Right.
I mean, there's so much more to it now. We're talking 3D modeling and AI generated art.
I know. It's crazy. And virtual reality
Oh, yeah,
experience.
for sure, that too. I think one of the biggest changes has been how much broader this whole world is now.
Totally. And, in getting ready for this,
Yeah.
I was really surprised to learn how far back digital art actually goes.
Oh, yeah.
Like way further back than I realized.
It's true. Most people think of digital art as this super new thing,
hmm
but it actually goes all the way back to the mid 20th century. Like, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Like, these super early computers, these massive machines,
Well, I know.
people like Frieder Nake and Vera
I
Molnar,
love those names.
they were using these things in the 50s and 60s to make art.
Really?
Yeah. We're talking punch cards and
I
like
thought.
the processing power was just awful back then, so limited. Can you imagine?
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Sure, sure. I mean, the dedication you had to have
Mm-hmm.
just to create art with those limitations. It's wild.
It makes you realize those artists were really ahead of their time.
Absolutely.
And then, computers start becoming more common in the 80s, the 90s.
Yeah.
Software like Photoshop comes out.
Oh, yeah. Photoshop changed everything.
It feels like everything just exploded then.
It totally did. Like the floodgates opened.
Exactly.
And creating digital art, I mean, suddenly it was like way more accessible. Anybody could do it.
Yeah. And that's right around when the internet was born, too.
Oh, absolutely. And that was huge. That changed everything, too.
Right.
Before that, I mean, if you were an artist, you had to go through all the traditional gatekeepers,
For galleries, critics, yeah.
all that stuff,
Mm.
to even get your art seen.
Totally.
And then suddenly,
The internet.
yeah, you could just connect with people directly, build your own audience.
Share your work so easily.
Yeah, and it wasn't just about being able to share it. It was global, you know?
Huh.
You could connect with people all over the world.
It really changed everything.
For sure.
It feels like that's when things really started changing in the art world.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just about computers and the internet, though, right?
Right.
Like, the tools themselves to make the art, those changed really fast, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I remember those early days using a mouse to draw,
Oh, God, yeah, that was the worst.
trying to make it look like a paintbrush.
The worst.
And then those Wacom tablets,
Game changer.
those are amazing.
Seriously. But you know what? I think we need to talk about VR and AR.
Oh, yeah.
Because those aren't just new tools, right? It's
No.
like they're entirely new ways to experience art.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so cool about digital art, you know? Like we're so used to just seeing art on a screen, right? Like a digital painting or something.
Yeah.
But with VR and AR, it's like you can step inside a 3D world that an artist created.
Wow.
Or you can hold your phone up and see these AR sculptures that are all around you.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's like the art is interacting with the real world.
Yeah.
Like in real time. It's wild.
That's incredible. So digital art is breaking free from just being stuck in the traditional art world.
Totally.
It's something that we experience all the time now.
All the time. Yeah.
Like in the video games we play,
Mm-hmm.
those filters we use on our phones,
Totally.
even just the design of
Yeah.
smartphones, it's all digital art in a way.
It's everywhere. It's crazy.
It really is. I never thought about it that way.
And you know what else really put digital art on the map? I mean, in a big way,
What's that?
NFTs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. NFTs were huge.
Huge. We can't talk about how digital art blew up without talking about NFTs.
Right. Like when people sold every days,
Yeah.
the first 5,000 days,
Oh, I know, right?
for like $69 million.
It's crazy. Christie's, this big auction house.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the art world that was freaking out. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah. It really was a game changer. But I
Right.
think a lot of people still don't really understand NFTs.
Oh, totally. I think there are a lot of misconceptions. It's not just about the money.
Right. Even though that's what everyone focuses on.
Yeah, for sure. But it's really about ownership. That's what's really important with NFTs.
Okay, so explain that like I'm 5.
Okay, so like if you buy a physical painting,
Mhm.
you own it, right?
Right.
But with digital art, it's different. It's so easy to copy.
Oh, yeah, you can just copy and paste it.
Exactly. So how do you prove that you own the original?
Right. That's tricky.
That's where NFTs come in.
Yeah.
It's like this certificate of authenticity, but it's digital.
Okay.
And it's permanently linked to a piece of digital art.
Okay.
It's all stored on something called a blockchain.
Blockchain. Everyone's always talking about the blockchain.
I know, it's like this buzzword, but basically it's just a secure way to keep track of who owns what, so you can't tamper with it.
Okay, so it's not just about the art itself, but this whole system that proves it's real and who owns it.
Exactly. And that was huge for digital artists. Because before,
Yeah.
they didn't really have a way to prove that someone actually owned their art.
So NFTs changed everything.
Everything. It's a whole new world for digital art.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about, like, proving who owns the art, you know? Like, this whole idea of owning digital art,
Yeah.
it meant that suddenly artists could actually make money from their digital work, like real money.
Right. Because before it was hard to sell something that could be copied so easily.
Exactly. But with NFTs...
It's like you're selling the original even if there are copies.
Exactly. It's like selling the original digital file.
That's huge.
Huge. And, you know, artists were struggling before.
Oh, yeah. Trying to make a living from their art.
Right. But NFTs gave them control, you know? They could set their own prices, sell directly to collectors.
And they could even make money every time their art was resold.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
With those royalties.
Yes, royalties. That was huge. Like, imagine you're an artist, you sell a painting, and then later someone else sells it for a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see any of that money.
That's how it used to be, right?
Exactly. But with NFTs, every time your artwork is resold, you get a cut. It's like built into the system.
I read this article about this digital illustrator.
Oh, yeah.
I think her name was Sarah Zucker.
Okay, yeah.
And she was saying that because of NFTs,
Mm-hmm.
she could finally focus on her art full time.
Awesome.
She didn't have to like work all these other jobs just to get by.
It's amazing how NFTs have, like, empowered artists like that.
Totally. But it's not just about the money, right?
Right.
Like digital art's impact goes way beyond that.
Oh, absolutely. It's a cultural thing, too.
Yeah. It's like it's changing how we see the world around us.
Totally.
Okay.
Like, for so long,
Yeah.
people thought of technology as, like, the opposite of art.
Cold and like
Yeah.
mechanical, not creative.
Yeah, exactly. But digital art is like the bridge between the two. It's
then-
showing people that tech can be creative, you know?
And it's pushing the boundaries of what art can be
Exactly.
in ways we never could have imagined before.
And it's everywhere. It's influencing everything.
Right. We see it in design,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
advertising,
Totally.
even fashion and movies are being influenced by digital art now.
It's true. Even the way we experience music videos, all that interactive stuff.
Right. It's like this whole new world of possibilities has opened up.
It's crazy. And, you know, speaking of new possibilities,
Yeah.
you mentioned Vaporwave earlier.
Oh, yeah. I love Vaporwave.
It's such a cool example of how digital art can, like,
Create a whole mood.
yeah, a whole aesthetic, a whole culture even.
Right. Like it's not just the visuals.
And yeah.
It's the music too.
And the whole vibe. It's nostalgic, it's surreal, it's
It's kind of hard to explain.
totally. But it's so cool.
It's like it's from the internet, you know? It couldn't exist without digital art.
Absolutely. And it's not just Vaporwave. We're seeing so many other digital art forms blowing up now too, like glitch art, pixel art.
Oh, yeah. And AI art. Don't forget AI art.
Oh, yeah, for sure. AI art is going to be huge. It's such an exciting time to be into this stuff.
It really is.
And you know what else I love about digital art?
That's that.
It's just so much more accessible than traditional art.
Oh, yeah, totally. You don't need a fancy studio or anything.
Right. You don't need expensive paints and canvases.
You just need a computer and some software.
Exactly.
Ah.
And that means that anyone can be a digital artist.
It's so true. It's like it's opened up this whole world to people who might not have had the chance before.
Right. Like no matter who you are, where you come from,
What your background is.
you can create art. It's amazing.
It's really inspiring. It makes you think about, like, where do we go from here?
That's the question, isn't it?
We've come so far, so fast. What does the future hold for digital art?
Right. We went from punch cards and these huge computers to NFTs and the metaverse. It's crazy.
It's a little mind-blowing when you think about it.
And the crazy thing is,
Yeah,
technology is only getting better and faster.
that's true.
We're on the edge of like this whole new wave of innovation with AI.
AI is changing everything.
I know. And machine learning, blockchain, who knows what else is next.
It's both exciting and a little scary, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like AI art.
Oh, yeah. AI art is crazy.
These algorithms are creating some really amazing stuff. It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
can a machine be creative? Like, is that even possible?
That is the question, isn't it? It's a big one. People are really debating this in the art world.
I bet.
Because if a machine can make art, then what does that even mean? What does it mean to be an artist?
Right.
Some people are afraid, they think AI is going to replace artists.
I get.
But others are more optimistic.
Oh, yeah.
They think AI can be a tool,
Yeah.
like a way to help human artists be even more creative.
I kind of like that way of thinking about it.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's like this whole new world of possibilities.
It's like instead of being afraid of what AI might do, we should be thinking about how we can use it to make even better art.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really cool way to look at it.
Yeah.
Like, instead of AI versus artists, it's like, what if they work together?
Totally.
Who knows what they could create? Yeah.
Exactly. Like we could see completely new kinds of art.
Yeah, things we can't even imagine right now.
Right. It blows my mind. And you know what else is cool about AI and art?
What's that?
It could make art even more accessible.
Oh, yeah.
Like imagine people with disabilities who might not have been able to create art before.
Okay, yeah.
AI could give them the tools to express themselves.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's amazing.
Right, like breaking down even more barriers.
And getting more voices heard.
Exactly.
It's incredible when you think about what technology can do.
Totally.
But,
Yeah.
even though all this is really exciting, like digital art's blowing up, NFTs, AI,
Yeah. That's a lot.
I think it's also important to remember that there are some people who aren't so happy about all this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There are definitely some challenges.
Like some people are worried about the environmental impact, right?
Yeah.
Like all the energy it takes to
Yeah.
make NFTs work.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. And the speculation,
What do you mean?
Like, are people just buying this stuff because they think it's going to be worth a lot of money? Or do they actually care about the art itself?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It's
Yeah.
like people forget that art is supposed to be about more than just money.
Exactly.
It's about, expressing yourself,
Mhm.
connecting with people,
Yeah,
making the world a more beautiful place.
yeah, all that good stuff.
It's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out,
Mm-hmm.
Like how will digital art be valued in the long run?
Yeah, for sure. Time will tell. But I think no matter what happens, real art, the good stuff,
Yeah,
it always finds a way to stick around,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I think what we should leave people with here
Yeah.
is that all of this whole digital art revelation, it's not just something that's happening to us.
Right.
We're all a part of it.
We're living it every day.
Exactly. Every time you take a picture with your phone, use a filter.
Play a video game.
Look at some art online.
All of it. It all counts.
You're part of this world.
So what are you going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what role do you want to play? How will you shape the future of art?
It's up to you.
It's an exciting time to be an art lover.
Sure.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of digital art.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you all next time.